Admonition the 29th. Beware the midge. Imagine an early summer evening, when the light is limpid and louche, falling toward a gentle, welcoming darkness, soft in the virtually tactile way that only the oceanward coast of Scotland can produce. Imagine further that you are coming home to your newly finished, glorified garden shed after a lovely weekend away with friends. It's just the two of you, content to come home after a long journey full of conversation, insight, and laughter. You turn your battered, soft-top Vitara into the drive and allow gravity to take you down to the bridge. You want to keep the car's progress slow because the unfinished drive rocks the short wheelbase of the 4x4 such that your already sore backs will be further jarred. The Vitara was never a comfortable ride. And you note as you cross the bridge that the castle is looking particularly pretty. The tops of the chimneys are caught in the last light of the setting sun, and the foot of the ruin seems to accentuate this by being sunk in a deeper, darker shadow than you'd expect. Both of you glance at the stand of tall trees across the ravine from the castle to see if they account for the visual contrast, but nothing unusual strikes you. The slight rise to the last corner wakes the Bassets, who immediately become animated with home fever. You glance at one another and smile, anticipating much low-slung and hilarious scooting around by the doe-eyed duo as they reacquaint themselves with their patch. The drive levels out, and you slip quietly down the avenue of, on one side, overgrown Lelandii, and on the other 5 gargantuan exotics, led by what has come to be known as the Harry Potter tree, although I'm sure it looks nothing like the Whomping Willow. It's nearly fully dark under the trees as you put on the headlights. They meet a thick veil of insects, which move in a mildly hypnotic wave, delineating the full beam of the lights to their utmost extent 200 yards away at the foot of the castle. You glance at one another, not quite understanding A, how such insect life could have arisen in the 72 hours you have been away, and B, the fecundity of nature even in these hills where the ground is notoriously poor, waterlogged and inimical to anything other than pine, rhododendron and rashes. Imagine that, despite your wonder at this sudden eruption of natural phenomena into your life at Dunans, you allow your car to coast at approximately 2 meters per second down the drive and into the gravelled embrasure on which the red shed stands. The quality of the light improves, and you see that the entire foliage-delimited quadrangle is thick with a floating mass of insect life, fluctuating to an altitude of about 8 feet. It is at this stage, when you slow the car to the point that it will roll at maybe half a meter a second to its place before the shed, that two things become apparent. First, the canopy of the soft-top car, which covers boot, rear seat and ceiling above, really isn't airtight. And second, that driving slowly means that this wondrous, slowly and softly dynamic layer of insect life is in fact able to find admission into our coolly comfortable capsule of car air. The time between the slowing and the screaming was perhaps all of 5 seconds. When the red mist of Midge rage descends, rational thought becomes absolutely impossible. The bastards bite. The bastards get into your ears, into your nose, up your nose, into your eyes, the creases in the corners of your eyes. You scream. You run, you swear, you slam doors, you open doors to let the dogs in. You remember your baggage, you remember the shopping, the milk which needs the fridge. You swear, find a balaclava, run out to the car, get the shopping bags. The milk bag splits, the cartons spill over the drive. You swear, you cry, you pray to God that the balaclava is working. It isn't. It's trapping the little bastards. You tear the midge snare off. You scrabble for the milk. You weep. You run in, throw milk at your wife, return outside for the bags. You are hollering like Rambo and choking on midges, and still running. Doors slam more. There's the tinkling of glass. You run in, slam the door again, drop the bags. Look at your wife, who is scrabbling at one of the windows. The windows! They are covered in midges. Billions of them. You can't see out, and some of these bastards, are on the inside. An hour later, we find ourselves sitting in the dark, in close proximity to 2 floor-standing fans and 1 desktop fan in the centre of the red shed. We are trying really, really hard not to scratch ourselves. I am trying not to weep. My lovely wife is holding her head in her hands, her jaw set. I can see she is calculating our next move. I cannot hold my head because my hands are covered in a mixture of silicon sealant and midges. I have a wound across one of my hands where the scissors slipped as I cut organza fabric, and at my feet are several thousand unused staples, an industrial staple gun, and all the plasters we own. We know we have to venture into the bedroom to fight the midge invasion, and we also know that because of the variable level of the foundations, there is a big, bastarding gap between the wall and the window bottom in that room. We look at one another and ask simultaneously, what on earth have we done?